It's your buddy, Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another Midday Monologue Monday. As you know, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G, and I am here to talk about building a better horror game. How does one capture that sense of excitement, dread, and adrenaline that we get from watching a good horror film, especially a good action-packed horror film? The suspension of disbelief that we get when we watch a horror film, or even read a really good horror book, is always lacking when it comes to games. Maybe not video games so much because of the visual and the audio cues that you get, but from board games, and to a lesser degree, role-playing games. What is it that is lacking, and how can we start to create a better horror game? All right, well, first of all, there seems to be two main ways that readers and viewers are pulled into caring about a world, a scene, and specifically a character. Now, the first way that this is done, and it's important that it's done in this order, is familiarity. Once the reader or the viewer, the experiencer, gets to know someone, gets to know a place, then it becomes familiar to them. It becomes something that means something to them. It has a place somewhere in their heart. Even if they realize and know, without the shadow of a doubt, that this is fictitious and made up, they have invested time and emotion already going into this. And that just becomes stronger and stronger the more familiar that something is. When players, readers, viewers can identify with the character or the scene at hand, it's always going to mean something more to them. Now, the other way that you draw them in is after you have them caring about a person, place, or thing, it has to be taken away. Because this death, this destruction, this missing object, this is going to be the emotional tug. This is going to be so familiar. We have all lost someone. We have all lost something. We have all had something that means something to us torn away at one point or another. So it builds upon the familiarity of before. But now with the loss, it tears a hole right where that spot was. And it's still there like a ghost itch on a missing finger. Now that the readers, the viewers, the players, now that things have been set up for them in a way that they have experienced love and loss, this shows them and everyone involved that the stakes are very, very real. How can this be incorporated into board games? Well, obviously the first thing I'm thinking of is something like this is part of what makes legacy games so popular. But can it be done outside of a legacy game? The game would have to be at least a campaign mode style game. And it would probably work better with multiple players that can use multiple characters. Because if you want to use character death to show real threat, it would only be fair if you give the players an option to bring in a new character after their old ones die. Maybe a relative, a friend, stranger, or nobody in particular. The ongoing quest-style games cater to this, but unfortunately I haven't been able to find any way to bring these sensations to the less campaign style and definitely non-legacy style board games that occupy so many horror shelves. I'm not sure if there is a way to do any of this beyond what's already been mentioned by me for just enhancing the atmosphere. But enhancing the game, bringing these elements straight to the board, or cards, or dice, I honestly don't think it's possible. I would love to have a solution for this, because I do genuinely love the genre and the theme of horror. And I think that in its varied forms, layered through different genres even, I think it's worthy for board gaming. Outside and beyond just zombie games and Cthulhu games. But we have to figure out what will actually make it horror, instead of just a board game about monsters. There's a difference. What ideas do you have that could make a board game itself a little bit more horrific? I want to know. And I'm sure everyone would like to hear. So leave your comments down below. I'm your buddy Big John G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.